All right, looks like we're about to hit the 5-second mark here. And we're on. All right, and here we're going around the first track here. Black trying to get through. Black goes on the inside, and Black takes lead, with White following right behind him. So it's going to be a close one. We'll see if Black can score any points before they call off the end of the jam. Does get pushed up back, and White decides to keep taking through, and actually White gets through. Black has not. Ooh, Black went to the penalty box. So that means it's going to be a power jam for White, as they've already taken 4 on the board. White's going on the outside, going through the middle, kind of making a diagonal cross through the pack. She gets through, has a couple more blockers, but they get back in front of her. They've recouped well, and they are working as they're going around the third bend of the track. The jammer is down. She's back on her feet, and now White is on the ground again. White almost got through the pack there, as Black jammer does come out of the penalty box now and is working their way around the track to get some more points on the board before they call this jam over. And it does look like the jam will come to an end there. So at the end of that jam, we are at Black 0, 4 for White, as they bring out the new sets of packs. Looks like they are going to stop the play. Looks like there's going to be a timeout called for possibly Black. Oh, correct me. There is actually 2 points for Black gotten on that play there. So Black team already going to be at a disadvantage here going into the next jam, as they have a blocker in the box. But it doesn't look like that's stopping their jammer at all as they're trying to get through. However, it does look like White is going to take the lead. So White is lead jammer for the second jam of the scrimmage here. Black trying to get through on the inside, but is being taken down by blockers, as the Black team did not even think to look for White, as White jammer easily passes through for another 4 points. And now Black jammer is through and is going around for their first pass to score. White jammer now going into the horde of blockers, takes them on head on and gets through. Scores 4 more points and does end that jam. So Black was unable to score any points during that team jam, and White actually scores. So we are at 16 for White, 2 for Black. Going into this third jam here, does look like White does have a jammer, or does have a blocker in the penalty box. So now with that advantage, let's see if Black can take advantage and score some points. Easily takes the inside, gets through, and now is lead jam. White, however, does get through with relative ease after that initial pass. Let's see how many points Black will try to score before they call off the jam. Coming around the outside, takes 2 blockers, does go down, as White is ready to go on the inside to try to get some points. White is taken down. Black is back on their feet. Does sound like a penalty was called. Everyone's kind of looking around to figure out who's going to the box. And it does look like Black will be going to the box. Their jammer. So they will lose lead jam status, and it will now be a power jam for White. and a blocker for white is going in. So now we have a white jammer, white blocker, a black jammer. A pivot pass was given to 408 on white, and now they are going around to work on getting a pass. And they take the inside, bounce off of the blocker, and they are going around the track. So there's 4 points for white. I'm sorry, for the white team. Black jammer now out of the penalty box, looking to get back in, but they will not be able to call off the end of this jam. So this jam will be going for the full 2 minutes. As white does score 4 more points. Black now, though, gets through and gets 4 points. White working on the outside of the pack here, now shifts into the middle as she's trying to find an opportunity to squeeze through there. But the jam now does come to an end. We're resetting the jams here because we are going into the 4th jam. And we are looking at white team with 24 points, black running 6. Nobody. Ooh, we do have a timeout. Looks like a possible official review. Okay, so it looks like they're hashing some things out at the score table. So it does look like there's 3 more points scored for black. So we're going to be sitting at, and 2 for white. So it's going to be 9-26, black 9, white 26. And we are going to be jumping in here now. And so we've got black going on the outside, takes down a horde of white blockers with them. And the white jammer is going to be sneaking through. So it looks like Pacifist on white team is taking lead for this jam. And so white jammer coming back around to start scoring points while black jammer still trying to get their initial pass. White goes through the middle, is taking on the blockers headstrong. Does get pushed out, so they will be going to the back of the track. Black does get their initial pass, so they're going to be going around now, as white is going to call off this jam. So no points will be able to be scored for black as white takes 4. So right now we are looking at 9 still for black and 34 for white. Everyone's wrestled up on the line here trying to get through, and they are off. We've got white who takes on the inside and gets through, gets lead jam easy, but black does not take that sitting down, and they've completed their initial pass. So this might be a very short jam, as white's most likely going to just try to get a couple points. Makes it through the pack with relative ease and calls the jam. So it does look like white got a full 2 or full 4. Black did get 2 points. So it should be 38-11. White team looking very strong right now in this new scrimmage bout. The jammers have been seeming to be able to find their holes and get through the blockers, while black has been doing a better job at holding them off. It does look like at this time the white team is going to be having a bit of a run here. We've got both jammers going to the outside. Black goes down, now white goes down. White does do a cut track, so even though they did take lead, actually they might not have taken lead. They may have. Oh, we have both jammers going to the penalty box. So here's what's going to happen. As soon as black jammer gets in, the white jammer is going to be up and going to the back of the track. However, because they were only in the penalty box for a shorter amount of time, the black jammer will not have to be in there for the full 30. They will be out at the same time, which looked to have been about, 7 or 8 seconds. And now black jammer's heading back into the track as white's working on getting through, going to the outside, takes the blocker head on, does get pushed out, but so did the black blocker, so she will be able to get back through. And it looks like both of them are pretty much head-to-head. However, it does look like both of them, it was one that took lead before going to the box, so there's not a lead jammer at this point, so this jam will be going for the rest of the 40 seconds. This one went for the full 2 minutes. White's the first to go back into the pack to start passing through. Black does take down a blocker, though. Is looking to go on the inside. Does sneak through the inside and gets 4 points. Now white kind of getting through the end of the blockers. Is taking on that last blocker. The pack had to regroup, so that's going to be 4 more points for white. As they get through, the black jammer is now right back into the pack, looking to sneak through that inside again. However, they did try to do a good block there. However, they did send one from white to the penalty box. It does look like we got to make some corrections to the score here. So it does look like they are still at 38. So it's going to be, oh no, it's 45. Yeah, they did get 3 more points. So it's going to be 22 to 45. White taking lead jam, black jammer following close behind. So we will see if there's any points scored in this jam or if it's called off before. Does take the inside, does get the 4 points and calls off the jam. That's going to be 4 more for white. I should put it 49 to 22. So as we adjust the score, so do they. So now we're going to bring this back down. So it's actually going to be 18 black, 49 white. We're using their scoreboard as a reference. So if they make a mistake, unfortunately, we make a mistake. But we are going to work on keeping this as accurate as possible throughout the bout. And it doesn't look like they really know who's supposed to be jamming here. But white does get through. Looks like there was some confusion on who is supposed to be jammer here. Black jammer goes to the ground. Looks like they're going to get through. White jammer now squeezing through the blockers, taking on the inside. Does get taken down, so those points will not be earned, and they're going to the back of the pack. Now black now squeezes through. White did get 4 more points. Let's see if they call off the bout or call off the jam before black can score any points. Looks like they're going to try to take some. They get pushed out. White team now going to the back. Black team trying to call off the jam, but they don't realize that they're not lead jammer. Black jammer just realized that they are not the lead jammer, so they were trying to call off the jam, but they can't. And so now white's working on their way back through the pack. It keeps getting taken down. Black jammer's taken down and is going down. White jammer now down. There is, looks like a bowling league out there with all the pins falling down. But now black does get through, so there's a 4 more points for black. And it does look like white jammer does call off the jam. So we've got 26 for black. And there was another 4 more for white, so we are 57 as we go into jam 8 of this bout. I don't believe white realized that they were lead jammer. They kind of looked confused when they realized that they could call off that jam. That's the fun of Derby, though. So now we're going into jam number 9. Black jammer trying to take the outside, but decides going through the middle. White jammer trying to go on the outside now, taking on 2 blockers because there is 1 blocker in the penalty box for black. Black does get a penalty, which means that gave white the opportunity to take lead jam. Black jammer was getting a penalty. Took a second for them to realize that there was that penalty, so this means that there's going to be a power play for white, as their jammer already had lead. Except for now it looks like white team's going to the penalty box with their jammer. So once again, black jammer will get out of the penalty box early. White will be able to get out early later. But now there's no lead jammer, so this will be going for the full rest of the minute left in that 2-minute bout, or jam. Black jammer gets through for their initial pass. Now they'll be making their way back around the track, and their jammer is Fleetwood Smack, number 319. They are going to now go back and try to get a couple scores before that white jammer does come back in. But again, that white jammer cannot call off because they lost their lead jam. As black goes to the ground, white does get through. 4 more points goes to the white jammer. The black jammer now working on trying to get through the blockers. As one of her blockers goes down, another blocker goes down. Jammer goes to the outside, gets knocked out of bounds, going to the back of the track. Struggling to get back on their feet as white jammer is taken down. It looks like it's going to be an illegal block, though, so black blocker will be going into the penalty box. However, the end of the jam is here, so we are going to be so then that jam came to an end. We're re-rolling with some new skaters for this next jam. 1 blocker from the black team in the penalty box. Let's see how white team takes advantage of this. Everyone kind of at a standstill, not sure who's going to take the first move, and it does look like white's going to start striking first. Working on the wall of blockers in the front is the black jammer from the back. Does a little moonwalk and gets through, goes and takes lead for black. The streak for the lead jammer for white team is over now. Black jammer going around trying to catch back up to the pack so that they can start scoring some extra points. See if they can get some numbers running for black team, who has 30 points, by the way. We apologize. White jam does get through for their initial pass. Black team now working, scores some points, calls off the jam. Looks like black will be getting 4 more for their team and prevented white from attaining any more points. So now we are 34 to 63. Skaters new out there and the skaters who are veterans are all looking pretty strong out there. Everyone's taking their hits. They're going to the ground, but they're getting right back up. They're not letting it slow them down at all. So here we go into jam 11. White working on the outside. Black works on the inside and takes lead. Looks like number 94 for black. I don't see a name. They have completed their initial pass, and they're already catching back up to the pack as white jammer takes to the ground. Black jammer bowling over, spinning and juking, and that's going to be 4 more for black. White jammers completed their initial pass. They're going to be working, try to catch up to the pack here. Black does take down a block. Might have been an illegal block. Looks like there's some confusion out there. It does look like black tried to call the end of the jam, but the lead jammer does get into the penalty box, so they will lose lead jammer status. White will take 4 more points, and we're going to be going the full jam this time as black jammer sits in the penalty box, giving white a power jam. White now working on the outside, trying to get through. cuts in the middle. She's got a blocker, except for 84 telegraphed that and said, no, you don't. White, though, trying to give them a hole for their jammer to get through. It does get around number 84. Does make it through. That's another 4 points for White. Jammer from Black now out of the penalty box is going to try to take over, get ahead of White so that they can try to score some more points while we got 24 seconds left in this jam. A little quick maneuver, however, does get pushed out, so they'll be going to the back of the pack as White's working on the blockers up in front. Black now taking on the triangle of White. Does get through, though, right about the same time as White, though, so we're going to have 4 more points for each one. So it's going to be 71 to, should be 42 as that jam comes to an end. We would update the score, but there's someone standing in front of our scoreboard camera. So we will update that as soon as we can see the scores. So 75 to 42. 75 White, 42 for Black. As we get ready to go into Jam 12. And we are over halfway through this first half of the bout with about 10 minutes left and going into jam number 12. Black can't hold up on their feet. They do go to the ground, so they will be going to the back of the pack. White now pushing through and takes lead. Good block from White there, number 20, taking the jammer to the ground as they are still trying to complete their initial pass. White has shown that jammer for Black into other blockers, keeping them at bay. White does make it through, so there's going to be 4 more points. Black does complete their initial pass, so they're going to try to see if they can score any extra points before White calls off this jam. But it does look like they're going to call this jam. So it looks like we do have a timeout. So we're going to stop that clock, timeout on Black. And it does look like White was able to score 1 more point before they called off that jam. So we are looking at 40. Oh, no, there was some points scored for Black. So it's going to be 45 for Black, 80 for White. Once again, viewers online, February 12th, we've got the Love Hurts scrimmage here at the Ellensburg High School. And it will be live online here on the Rodeo City Roller Derby Facebook page. So if you cannot make it in person, make sure to tune in to the Rodeo City Roller Derby Facebook page. You can give them a like, give them a follow so they can get notifications. And then when they go live, you will know. We're going to take a look here. It looks like we do have 10 viewers here in the stream, so we do thank you, viewers, for your support for the Rodeo City Roller Derby and for all these new skaters who are working on getting their wheels on the ground. Again, the primary focus of this bout here is for all skaters who either this is within their first year of being a skater or returning skaters who are out of the scene due to injury or other reasons. They had to go back through the ropes, go back through, and they are out here now. So we are going to be starting back up here. So we are going to Jam 13 with about 9 minutes left of the first half. White now working, pushing that blocker wall of the Black team forward. Looks like they're going to try to get themselves through. Taking the inside, they are able to stay on their feet, and they take lead. Jammers for Black team now working through. Looking like they're trying to find an opening here. However, it does look like White's jammer will go to the penalty box, so they lose their lead jammer status. There is no lead jammer, so this will be the full 2-minute bout. So Black jammer does get through. It kind of looks like they're giving them lead jammer status, though, which I thought that white had it. Maybe they did an illegal pass, so it never counted. Does look like black did have lead jam. They decided to call it off. They do get 1 point. So going into this, black is going to start off right out of the gates as a power jam, as white jammer is still sitting in the penalty box. Let's see how black jammer can take advantage of this, see if their team can open a good hole for them to get through here. Going around this first pass here. Black jammer almost got through, was just pushed out right at the last second. So they're back at the end of the pack as white jammer is out of the penalty box. Black goes to the floor. However, it was through an illegal block, so white blocker 269 will be going to the penalty box. Black jammer still working on getting through. Does get pushed back outside, so they're back at the pack. White jammer now pushed to the back. Black does get through and takes lead. So black going around the bend now here as white jammer's pushing through the last of the blockers. Does get through, so they have completed their initial pass. We'll see, though, if they're allowed to score or if the black jammer will call it off before they can get through. There is 4 more points for black. White jammer does get taken down. Does sound like a penalty was called, though. Not sure on who yet. Black jammer looking like they're ready to take on the pack, as it does look like white jammer will be going back to the penalty box. So this is a second power jam for black, who does have lead. And they do, did they call it the jam? All right, so they did call off the jam. There will be 4 more points for black. So it should be 54-80, and the black jammer called off. White jammer is in the penalty box, so this will be another power jam for black as we get ready to go into jam number 15, and it does look like there is an adjustment we'll need to make on this time here. Does look like there's going to be, looks like we were ahead of a little bit, so we're going to change our timer. So now there's 5 minutes left as black does take lead. White jammer still in the penalty box, but is heading out to the track now. So white jammer will be taking on their initial pass. Black gets through with ease, and it racks up another 4 points for black. So we are now at 58-82 as black calls off the jam. Sounds like there's going to be a timeout called with about, well, they haven't stopped the clock yet, but, oh, maybe they didn't. Okay, so there was not a timeout call, so our clock is a little bit behind. Looks like there's about 3 minutes and about 58 seconds. So we're working on fixing that real quick. So we are going to be at about, we can't see the clock here. Our clock is stopped. The one, we will update it when we can find what the actual time is. Does look like white team does get 4 more points. Black completing their initial pass. White does get through for another 4 more points. Black jammer still working on getting through. They do get through. So that's going to be 4 more points for black. And that jam is over. We're still trying to get a confirmation. Okay, so we do have a timeout. Looks like there is about 2 minutes and 59 seconds left. So we are going to update our clock. So that clock will be updated.
If you have any questions, please put them on a little piece of paper. Put them in your pocket. Pick a card. And I will pull some piece of paper.
So we are just fixing up our clock here as they take a timeout.
So just a quick reminder for all of those who this is your first time watching.
Looks like we're having some malfunctions with our scoreboard, so we're going to pop that back up in.
At all. None. The second time they make it through.
All right, looks like our scoreboard is back online. So again, it looks like there was about 2 minutes and 59 seconds left. And there's 94 points for white. So it's going to be 94. We're still looking to find the score for black. So that is 62. And we are going to be starting here. Okay, so 62, 94. It does look like white takes lead jam with about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Okay, so we have about 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in this first half. White jam does get through and calls it off. And so we are looking at 98 for white and 62 for 62 for black, 98 for white.
We got number 6, Jessica, jamming for
So here we go into our 18th jam of the half. Black easily gets through and takes lead. Nobody in the penalty box, so it's full blockers, full jammers, pivot pass for white. Does sound like somebody, so a blocker for black going to the penalty box. Pivot pass was successful for white, so they have their jammer with an initial pass. 4 more points going on to black, and they call the jam. So black team preventing white from scoring any more points as we get 66 to 98 with just over a minute left in this first half. It's been a pretty good scoring first half for white. Black starting to work out some of the kinks on their side, and they're able to kind of start making a little rebound, keeping the distance between the scores as close as they can. White team does get the initial lead jam this time around. Black, though, following close behind. So we'll probably see a quick pass and a call off. White gets taken to the ground. Black on their feet still, now to the ground. White working on the inside, black working on the outside, but it does look like black may have sustained some sort of injury. However, it doesn't look like they're calling the jam. They're probably just going to call the clock off. So that is going to be the first half of the bout. We do have a skater for black down, though. But instead of just stopping the clock right there, they're just going to call it the end of the half. They're going to tend to the skater on the floor. And we are going to go ahead and take a quick intermission for halftime. We'll be back here in about 10-15 minutes. Viewers who are having to tune back in, there was a weird malfunction of some kind, and our stream totally went off air. We are back on here though, but yes, we do apologize for anyone at home who is trying to figure out where that stream is now. For whatever reason, during halftime, our stream went off the air. Could have possibly picked up some music from previously and detected copyright music and went down or something like that, but we are back now, and we shouldn't have any more issues for the rest of the bout. As we go into the second half, black is 66, white is 100. And here we go. We've got about one more second, and we are going. Looks like black will be able to take lead. So we've got white working on getting through, and we've got black that just got through one more time, and they will be getting 4 more points added on. Black going around for their next score pass. White still trying to get through. Black gets through one more time, and there's another 4 more points for black. Coming out really strong. Must have just needed a little halftime prep talk to be able to get where they are wanting to be here. So it will be currently 74 to 100, I believe. 74-100 with about 45, almost 45 seconds left in the jam here. A blocker does go down. Pivot pass for white was successful, and they are completing their initial pass. Black jammer getting hit hard, going down, getting right back up, though, as if they hit a trampoline, and they are scoring 4 more points and calling off the jam. Viewers watching the live stream, if you could give this second half a share again to get all of those viewers who were in here for the first half back in, we would greatly appreciate it. Again, we had some sort of technical difficulty about 2 minutes before the halftime was over that caused the live stream to go down, but we are back on. So we would please encourage everyone who's watching to give this a share so that any viewers who were here previously can get back in. As we're total number of 21 jams. We've had 2 for this second half so far. White team does get through for lead jammer. Black short to follow. Nobody in the penalty box yet. White does have a pretty good lead, about a whole turn worth of a whole track length of lead. Well, not a whole track, but quarter track length lead, as they are now attacking the pack, trying to get through their blockers to get the points. Black does get pushed out of bounds, but it doesn't really matter because white did score 1 point. So we are looking at, oh no, it looks like there's a couple more points scored here. So it is in total 104 for white and 83 for black. So here we are going forward, and black is working, trying to get through her blockers. Looks like the blockers did have quite a bit of a size difference on her. Does not make a difference as black jammer does push through and takes lead. White jammer short to follow, though, and catching up quickly as they're already going around this front turn here on the track. Black does get through, does call off the jam. So we got 4 for black, 1 for white, end of jam. 87 to 105 as we're going into jam number 22. Ten seconds going into. Nobody in the penalty box. Black is getting one more blocker. They're back out on the track here. So it looks like number 6 for black, number 92 for white jamming here. Number 6 does get taken down for black. 92 almost gets to the outside, but gets caught right on the end by a good hip check. Going down, getting back up. Takes down the blocker this time with them. Black going to the back of the track after getting pushed back out of bounds. White does get through for lead jammer. Jammer for white, completing their initial pass, ready to start scoring as black is tailing about a turn behind. White pushing against the blockers on the inside. Black 6. Looks like they're kind of catching their breath or just taking their time getting around, maybe making some strategy to try to get through. Does not matter, though, as white does call off the pass. Call off the jam. Looks like 1 point for each here. So now we're looking at 88 to 106 as we go into jam number 23 with just over 24 minutes left in this second half. As we're getting a new roll of blockers and jammers rolling out onto the track. One more time, if there's any viewers who weren't here in the first half, we do want to remind you, February 12th, the Love Hurts bout will be either here in person on the live stream, or you will be able to watch it here at the school or on Facebook. Just make sure you give Rodeo City Roller Derby a like and a follow on Facebook. As we get back into the action here, white jammer does take lead and is getting the hustle on as they are hustling, sprinting down the track, or I guess whatever the sprint equivalent on wheels is, but they are making quick work of getting around the track, making quick work of getting around the blockers, and making a quick work of getting 4 more points added onto the team, and they call the jam, but it doesn't look like they were able to do it before black was able to score 2 more points. So, again, I do not believe I've seen any penalties yet for this second half, which is quite surprising. We're going in here. Looks like there was maybe some communication errors on how they're wanting to set up their line for this next jam here. As white is trying to make quick work of the front block. They do get taken down, but they do take people down, which actually they were able to acquire lead jammer right before they were taken down. So even though they're behind, they may be trying to call off this jam beforehand, but it doesn't look like they're going to, as black does take 4 more points. White jammer, though, trying to make quick work, keeping their balance, walking the tightrope on the inside, but still struggling to get around that wall of blockers for the black team. Does get pushed out of bounds, but was able to get back in right behind them. Really trying to find an opening there, but 84 for black is really telling them to hold at bay. Does get through, though. That's going to be another 4 points for white. I do believe it was white that is lead jammer. They are deciding not to cut off the jam yet, as they're racking up 4 more points. When you have a good lead like they do, though, sometimes it's better to just keep racking up the points, give a little to take more. as black does rack up 4 more points. So we are at 98 black, 118 white with about 15 seconds left in this jam. As white makes work of the black team blockers again to get 4 more points. Black jammer following close behind with another 4. Pretty high scoring bout for this one as this jam does come to an end. So even though that there was a lead jammer, they decided, yeah, we're just not going to call it off. We're just going to keep racking up these points. So we'll be going into the 25th jam of the game, which is the 6th one for this half so far. So going through this first turn here, got some familiar faces with the stars on their helmets. And it does look like number 12 for white is going to take lead jam. As number looks like 230 for black completes their initial pass. White putting the gas on their heels as they're getting through this first turn to try to get through. Almost got tripped up by the blocker's feet. Does get pushed out of the track. Does have to go all the way to the back, all the way behind number 84, as they're going to work on trying to get through this pass again. Both jammers fighting and clawing to try to get through. Black is able to keep herself up. White goes down. Absolute pandemonium over here as they are scrambling to try to get some points. Black does get through though. So we've got 4 points for each team. I can't remember who took lead, but whoever it was called it off. I believe it was white. We're going to have the 4 points. So it's going to be 110 black, 126 white. Black team definitely closing up the lead here. We went from plus 30 point difference to now just a plus 16. 5 seconds going in here, and we are going into 27th jam. Crybaby for black, 92. I can't remember 92's name. Black does take lead, though, so 327 for the black team takes lead jammer. As number 92 for white is working on getting through the blockers to get their initial pass. Black jammer already making it back to the blockers, and now is going to start working 4v1. And even though 327 does have a bit of a size disadvantage, it's not stopping them to get through and keep trudging on. Does sound like a whistle blew. Somebody got penalized, and it's going to be jammer for white. So this is going to be a power play, power jam for black with lead, which means that they can call it off whenever they wanted to and leave white jammer sitting in the box until the next jam. Does get knocked out. Does sound like there might have been a push, though, as a white blocker now going to the penalty box. So not only is it a power jam for black, but they also have a blocker advantage. You can see it. They're kind of getting in there, getting some hands on their jammer, pushing them through. They do get 4 more points. They call off the jam. They will be starting next jam as a power jam, as white jammer and a blocker both still sitting in the penalty box. This is going to be a very crucial time for them to capitalize on this situation, get that lead jam early so that they can try to score as many extra points as they can before the white jammer does come back in. This could be a really good opportunity for black team here to close up that difference and possibly even start working towards taking the lead in this for the first time, I believe, in this entire bout. Going around this first turn here, black does get through with a pretty good time frame right as white jammer is out of the penalty box, and their blocker is soon to follow, as a matter of fact, right now. So white jammer will be working on getting their initial pass, which is completed thanks to a good star pass. Both the blocker and the jammer do go down, though. So she's, yes, White Jammer is back in while Black is getting 4 more points. The White Jammer is on the ground, back up, going to the back of the pack as Black is now going through, does go to the ground also. It does sound like there might be a penalty, and it is going to be on Black Jammer. So Derby giveth and Derby taketh away, as now we are going to be running this full last minute of this jam. Actually, it's going to be pretty quick, though. White Jammer heading to the penalty box, so Black Jammer is only going to be in there for, I don't know, maybe 7 seconds. So now Black Jammer back on the track. White Jammer is going to be sitting in there for about another 7 seconds. Now they're going to be able to come back in and see if they can rack up a couple extra points here before Black Jammer's back, or White Jammer's back on the track. White Jammer now back on the track. 4 more points, though, for Black right as they're entering. So Black was able to take a little bit of advantage of those power jams and the penalties, and they have closed this lead from a 16-point lead down to a 4-point lead for White. White Jammer knocked out, had to go all the way back, and 27 made sure to make them go as far back as they possibly could. And that jam will come to an end out of time while 4 racked 4 more points. So now we are tied after almost 3/4 of the bout have struggling to keep up with White. Now Black is tied with White. Absolute phenomenal second half that Black team is having here. I don't know what kind of Powerade or what kind of Wheaties they were eating in the locker room before this bout, or during the second halftime, but they have come out on fire, and it is showing on the scoreboard as they have taken lead once again. Nobody in the penalty box here, so full teams on each side. Jammers racing each other to get back to the pack. Probably going to be a very close call if there's going to be any points scored for any team. Actually, it looks like they're both just going out of here. You kind of have to at this point, except for White gets through. Black got stuck at the back of the pack. So White is just keeping barely ahead now, pretty much a pass at a time now. Black Jammer down on the ground, calling off that jam. So there's 2 more points for White. So there's a 6-point lead now for White after Black struggling to get through the White defense on that extra pass. I was pretty sure that as soon as they got past 1 hit, they were going to call that jam. As Black does call a timeout with 13:29 left in this second half. Black team taking a timeout. Probably just regrouping and seeing what kind of adjustments that they need to make to be able to make sure that they are going into this last half of the half. So I guess it'd be about the last quarter of the bout. Oh, excuse me. So it was actually a timeout for White. The coach had a black shirt on, so I assumed that they were coaching for Black. But so White was taking that timeout. I don't believe anybody in the penalty box. So we'll be going out here 5 versus 5. Looks like we've got number 1330 jamming for White, and can't quite read on the Black jammer. I'll see them when they come around this next turn here, but we are getting ready to go into jam number 30 with about 13:29 left in this second half. Looks like whoever is jamming for Black, they're also it was 1330 jamming for Black. They're going to the penalty box though, which of course means White is now number 12 jamming for White. is going to be in a power jam. Almost gets through with that initial pass, but goes to the floor.
We might be going for the whole 2 minutes. I'm actually kind of unclear.
Making some adjustments to the score here. It does look like it's 128 for White, 129 for Black, as White takes lead jam. So White is lead jam, which hopefully that's the case since it was a power jam. 13:30 for Black is out of the penalty box now, looking to finish completing their initial pass, see if they can rack up some more points for their team before the end of this jam. So, and actually in a stunning turn of events here, now not only are they fighting for the lead, but they had that lead for just a brief moment in time. White just took that lead back, however. So we are looking at 129 to 132. 20 seconds left to reset the skaters for the jam. About 11 minutes and 50 seconds in this second half. And it is still anybody's game. Literally anything can happen at this point. So Black working, trying to get to the inside, was able to take advantage of her blocker there and does take lead. White jam pushing through, got two more blockers, third one's back in though. Just trying to find that good opening, good advantage. Does get taken to the ground though, so we'll be going to the back of the pack as Black's jammer now working, trying to get through. Does look like a penalty was called, but who on? And it is on the Black jammer, so they lose lead jam status. They're going to the box. A White blocker is coming back in. White jammer does get their initial pass at the start of their power jam. So let's see if they can capitalize and widen their gap now that they had and then lost and then are starting to gain again. Again, anything can happen here, and it is any team's game at this moment. Does look like a star pass has been successful to Pacifist. Pacifist does take it and does get through and gets 2 more points for the White team. Slowly but surely, they're trying to build up that lead, and somebody takes a hard hit. It's on the ground. Black jammer now finishing their scoring pass, so that'll be 4 more points for Black as one of the White blockers is on the ground. Jam is called. Got 4 points for... We got 1 point for White. Doesn't look like any other points yet for Black. We are going to be taking an official timeout so that somebody can be attended for a possible injury out on the track. Okay, so White is going to be at 135. So yes, it looks like it's going to be 133 or to 134. 133 Black, 134 White. 1 point difference with about 9 minutes and 50 seconds going into jam number 32. Does look like White's skater was able to get off the track without needing too much extra assistance. They're going to be examined by some EMTs here. Make sure everything is good and everything is in order. So they'll be out this jam definitely, and then we will be working on nobody in the penalty box, so it'll be a full 5v5.
It's all about the facts, right? Yeah. Well,
So we've got 9 minutes, 53 seconds left in this. Actually, it looks like they were running the clock again. So I'm not actually sure what the time is. I believe it's 9:53. Going into the 30-second jam of this bout. White easily taking lead on that one. But the black jammer following close behind, only about a turn length ahead is the white jammer. Black trying to get some speed. White jammer is getting through, is going to probably try to hit a couple blockers, get it by a hip or two. Pack is too far apart, so they got to separate, or they got to get back together. They were separate. Black jammer too far behind. 4 points for white, and jam is called. So just a quick get some points on the board, get the jam over, move on to the next one. So it does look like the black team will be starting with one in the penalty box, a blocker in the penalty box. The jammer, or the skater that was being reviewed by medical, does look like they were cleared and they are back on the track blocking as black takes an easy lead jam. Just slipped through there like melted butter. White jammer looks like Passio Fist, number 5, working on trying to get through their initial pass. 3-2-7 Crybaby for black does get taken down, but the blocker fell too, so nope, they do have to go to the back. They're working on the inside, had a couple blockers to work their way through. Tried to get through, but did a cut track, so they will be going to the box, and now it's going to be a power jam for white. Black loses lead, so they're trying to call it the jam. Cannot, because they lost their lead jammer status by getting that penalty. Looks like one skater is kind of fixing some of the barrier on the track. Some of the tape may have came up, so they're putting that back down before getting back into the jam here. White jammer gets taken down by 84 for black and is now going to the back of the pack. Going around this turn here. Jammer for white struggling to find a good opening, but it looks like they're now getting in there. They do get through. That's another 4 points. Slowly starting to push this lead. Oops. The black score needs to be adjusted here real quick. It's the white team that has 146. White team, black 133, white 146. With this jam wrapping up now. We got about 6 minutes and 35 seconds left. Black jammer still in the penalty box, so this is going to start out as a power jam for white. So it looks like we've got white jammer here. I believe it's number 12. Black jammer still in the penalty box, the 3-2-7 Crybaby. So white jammer going to the outside, finds an opening, dodges the blocker, scoops by another one, takes lead jam. Great footwork for jammer for white to get past 2 blockers. Black jammer now back in, starting their initial pass as white jammer stays on their feet. Try to get taken down, stays on their feet, slips on by, gets 4 more points for white. Black going to the ground, but so did the blocker, so they were able to go through. They have completed their initial pass. So black completing their initial pass. White now working on their second scoring pass. No, third scoring pass. But it was taken down going to the back of the pack. White Jammer decides to call it as they go down to the ground. No points were able to be earned for Black as we are going into jam number 35 with just under 5 minutes left in this last half.
Can I get a sponsor? Number 6, lining up for Black. Can I get a jam?
All right, so we're going into this new jam here. White going to the outside, pushing down. Jukes. Keeps low, keeps that center of gravity low, gets on through, gets lead jammer. Black Jammer down to the ground, going back in, still completing their initial passes. White Jammer going around, catching back up to the pack, and going to start trying to rack up some scores. Looks like they're able to get through their blockers. We do have a star pass for Black, so now 84 will be jamming for Black team. She's so sarcastic, jamming for Black now after a successful pivot pass. But White said, no, we don't want to deal with that. We're going to go ahead and call off this jam, get some new bodies out here. So White quick to get back out, get their new 5 out for this next jam as we get 5 seconds before the next jam starts. Black finally getting the rest of their team out. Looks like one is a little late to the party. White Jammers bulldozing through, gets their lead jam status. Black Jammer able to get through as their pivot now going into the penalty box. So there's going to be a numbers advantage for the White Jammer here as they juke a blocker, it looks like, and squeeze through 2 more. So that's going to be 4 points for White, 4 points for Black. One skater for White now going to the penalty box as one for Black is ready to go back onto the track. So now it's going to be the numbers game, except for they call the end of the jam right before. So looks like it's going to be 137, 165. 137 Black, 165 White. Blocker for Black team about out of the penalty box. They'll be going out pretty much at the start of this next jam as we're hitting the 2-minute mark for this last half. So there is still going to be an even. It's an even 4-on-4 right now. Black blocker out of the penalty box heading in, so now it's going to be a 5v4 as Black Jammer working to try to get in. Gets pushed out of the track, so they're going to go to the back. White Jammer taking on blockers on the front. Black Jammer taking on blockers from the back. One blocker goes down, which gives Black the opportunity to squeeze through and take lead. White's blocker out of the penalty box, so it's going to be a 5v5 at this time. Lead Jammer trying to go through is going to start racking up some points. Successful pivot pass for White. So White's completed their initial pass. Black makes easy work of the pack to get another 4 points for their team and calls the jam, preventing White from scoring any more points. So it looks like this is going to be the last jam here going into jam number 38 with only about 45 seconds left. Most likely going to be the last jam. So here we go, about 30 seconds left in the game. It is 141 Black, 165 White going into the final jam of this bout. So whoever takes this jam is going to have control over the last of the game. And it was neck and neck for White, though, taking it at the last second as number 6 for Black went to the ground and is now recouping and found a good opening, is completing their initial pass. Now White squeezing through, taking on the inside, hustling, gets 4 more and does call off their jam. And with that, we are going to see the end of this bout. So we have Black team 141, White team taking the victory here with 169 after 38 jams and 30 minutes in the first, 30 minutes in the half. A great show of effort for our new athletes. A great experience for them as they continue to grow and become stronger athletes, become more familiar and more comfortable being out there against more fierce competitors. So one more time here for the viewers at home. February 12th, the Love Hurts scrimmage featuring your Rodeo City Roller Derby team. Make sure to give them a like on Facebook, give them a follow on social media to keep updated with all their newest content, and make sure to tune in back here on February 12th. Looks like is there going to be one? Oh, hold on a second now. They're going to do one more. They said, no, we're not done yet. They still got a little bit of energy in them. They're going to go one more time. Even though the clock has hit 0, they're saying we're going one more time. So don't go anywhere just yet. We got one more here. So jam number 39. White team taking the quick, almost, possibly, maybe. They're trying. And with that penalty, Black is going to go to the box, and that gives White team lead jam, but Black short, quick to follow. And now that jam is over. 0 points, 0 points. And so now the final, still 141 Black, 169 White. Are we going to do one more? What are we doing? I believe that is now going to be the conclusion of this bout. So in a random turn of events, maybe they thought that the clock had just enough time on it. I'm not sure. But that is going to be the conclusion of this new skater bout. We thank everybody viewing remotely into this live stream. And again, keep your calendars open for February 12th as we will be back with more Rodeo City Roller Derby action then.